everyone, and welcome to Vlogmas episode 16. So as you can see, I already took a shower. I'm just letting my hair air dry and then I can finally go and color it. Like I said, I think in my last episode, I'm just going to be doing the roots, so it's really not going to take that long and it's not going to be too intensive, but I really just need to get my hair like dry because obviously I can't put color on wet hair. Also, I did just upload yesterday's Vlogmas, or I guess today's Vlogmas, technically yesterday for you because you're watching it tomorrow. Anyway, time is weird. I have already made breakfast. I had a cup of coffee and I've gotten my day started. I do really need to make my bed, obviously, but I also really want to do some laundry, so I might try to get some of that done. And I believe that I mentioned this in yesterday's Vlogmas, but I did start Queenie, which I actually do own. I'm gonna bring it out right, where is it? Right here. So I do actually own a copy of Queenie, and I have started it already. I don't really know how to feel about this book yet. It does kind of remind me of a lot of British literary fiction, just like general fiction type of books that I've read. And those for me can either be really hit or miss. Sometimes I really love them. Other times they're just kind of like meh, and really I never know what I'm going to get, because I feel like there really is a distinct voice that comes with British literature that sometimes just doesn't really mesh well with me personally. Sometimes it can be very good, very like introspective, very thoughtful, and then other times it can just be a little bit cringe. I don't know if it's just like a difference between like American culture, British culture, American literature, British literature, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like there is definitely a very distinct difference. And sometimes I feel like British literature can kind of like really turn up the ridiculous factor, the dramatic factor, which can feel a little bit uncomfortable to my like specific sensibilities, I guess. Like, I was just recently watching a movie, a British movie, and it was called Rye Lane, which I feel like also does this, where it really turned up the ridiculousness of the plot, and it made it feel really cringe to me, and like I just didn't end up liking it. So I'm just kind of wondering if it's just like a difference between like storytelling tactics. So I'm really trying to enjoy this book. I'm really trying to get into it. I guess we'll just have to see how it goes, honestly. I want to read a little bit more of it, and I don't want to, you know, immediately write it off and be like, oh, okay, I don't really like it. Basically, this book is about the character named Queenie. She is kind of having a rough time at the moment. She and her boyfriend are on a break. She has moved out of their apartment. She's trying to find a new apartment to live in. Her job isn't really going all that well. I feel like this is like tale as old as time when it comes to British literature. Queenie is in a spiral as she careens from one questionable decision to another. She finds herself wondering, what are you doing? Why are you doing it? Who do you want to be? All of the quandaries today's woman must face in a world trying to answer them for her. So I'm excited to like continue on with this book, see where it takes me, see if I end up enjoying it as much as I hope that I will, but so far it's not looking so good. I felt like I just wanted to give you guys that update. I'm gonna go do some laundry. I'm gonna continue listening to Queenie, and then once it's time to color my hair, I will come back to you guys. Okay, so I got my scissors. Now I just have to mix the color together. I just have on like a ratty t-shirt, and usually I'll have like a video playing in the background just so I can have something to listen to and, you know, whatever, while I color my hair. But right now we are vlogging, so just pouring the two things together. This, I believe, is a color. This is a developer. I've been coloring my hair for a really long time. I think the first time I ever did anything with my hair was when I was like 7 or 8 maybe. So yeah, my mom used to be a hairstylist, and that was before she became a preschool teacher, and so I got to do fun things with my hair at a pretty young age. We are going to start off by doing the bottom. Just gonna get in there. I really don't have any rhyme or reason as to how I do this. It really is just like, let's go wherever I feel like. And I'm not precise at all. I feel like I've been doing this with my hair for so long that like I just never feel the need to be precise anymore. I'm just like, let me do this as quickly as humanly possible. Got the underside done. So now I'm just gonna section my hair and I will just go section by section, just doing the roots as I go. So like I said, I have been reading Queenie, and honestly, I'm not enjoying this book. Like, I understand the story, like I get it. And I've read a few reviews on Goodreads talking about it. But I don't know, there's just something about it that I'm just like not loving. And honestly, I see a lot of mixed reviews for this book. Like, some people really love it and then other people really don't like it. And then I keep seeing reviews that are like, this book is so serious, this book is so heavy. And I'm just like, where? I don't know, maybe I'm just like, I have a different definition of what heavy or serious is. This book is like the definition to me of unserious. Like, I guess maybe it does kind of deal with like more serious topics, but in my opinion, it deals with them in the most unserious ways. I'm just like, not that it necessarily trivializes anything, but like I said earlier, it just like has that sort of comedic energy that I just like don't vibe with. And people kept like relating it to Fleabag, and I'm just like, I don't really see Fleabag in this book. And I really like Fleabag. So I kind of thought that I would really like this book as well, but I don't know, there's just like a disconnect for me. And this is where I have most of my grays. So I really try to get this part as saturated as possible. So yeah, I'm like, I don't know if I should just look for a new book and do that, or if I should just like continue on with Queenie and take it as what it is. I'm just not liking it. So this should be the last layer. Like I said, I try to go really fast. I'm sure I'll edit this, but the time right now is 10 minutes. But yeah, I think it's so funny because usually like I'll have a little bit of a hard time with books in December, but for some reason this time around, it's just like an even bigger struggle than normal. Okay, so I took a shower, I rinsed out my hair, and I'm just gonna let it dry like this for a little bit before I straighten it and blow dry it out, you know, whatever. Sorry that it cut off really short because my brother ended up calling me in the middle of while I was doing my hair. So I obviously had to answer his call and talk to him. He wanted the Disney Plus password, so I guess he had texted me and I just didn't answer because I wasn't paying attention. So he called me. That's why I wasn't able to finish the clip of me dyeing my hair. But basically, I just left it on for another 30 minutes and rinsed it out, and now we are here. I don't think I'm going to continue with Queenie. I don't want to force it. Maybe I'll come back to it. I don't know, but I really don't want to force it. So I'm going to try a different book. I'm not really quite sure what I'm going to try at the moment. I'm currently looking through all of my favorited books on Hoopla, and hopefully something will catch my attention. And when something does, I will definitely let you guys know because I just need to find something to read. I don't know what it will be, but it's gotta be something because I cannot continue with this terrible, terrible reading slump for much longer. It's really getting on my nerves. So these are the books I have checked out from Hoopla at the moment. Please ignore my fingernails. They look terrible. I haven't been able to do my nails in so long. But I have The Do-Over, which I actually own this book, and I did start it physically, but I haven't picked it up in a few months, so I would like to obviously start it over and read it maybe as an audiobook. I have The Ghost Bride, which seems really interesting. It is a bit of an older title. It's about, what, at this point, nearly 12 years old, but it does sound really good. I also have Trust Exercise, which I also own physically and sounds really interesting. I've heard some good things about it. I have Why Has Nobody Told Me This Before, which also sounds really good. This is more nonfiction. Another nonfiction, Shakespeare's White Others, which sounds really good. And then Black Women Writers at Work, another nonfiction piece of literature. So I don't really know what I want. I feel like now I kind of have a lot of choices. I feel like I'm kind of leaning towards nonfiction. I kind of want to do Shakespeare's White Others. It is pretty short, so I feel like it will be a really quick read, and maybe it will reignite my desire to pick up a book. So I think we're going to go with this one. And I've also kind of been in the Shakespeare mood lately. I've been rereading Hamlet. There's another Shakespeare nonfiction book that I really want to read. It's not, the other one I want to read is not really about Shakespeare. It's kind of more just about that time period. And yeah, I think this is the book we're going to go with while I wait for my hair to dry just a little bit more. Okay, so as you can see, I did my hair. It's now officially nice and straight. I ended up watching Bridget Jones's Diary with my mom. She'd never seen it. I've seen it once before and I really enjoyed it, so it was really nice to watch that together. And it is such a funny movie. I really like that one. That's definitely one I could have added into my like movies you should watch during Christmas/winter, because most of it does take place during the winter, but I don't know why I didn't add that one. I guess I just like didn't think about it, but I do really like that movie. So I watched that, and I did start that book, Shakespeare's White Others, and honestly, I wasn't feeling it, mainly because I felt like I could basically, like, I was coming to the conclusions that I already knew the author was going to come to. Like, I could basically predict everything this author was going to say, and I could see the end from a mile away. So I'm like, you know what? Is it really worth reading this book if I already know exactly what this person is going to talk about in this book, and I can already see it? Like, I already know what's gonna happen. And I think that's my problem with certain nonfiction books, is that, like, I don't know if it's because they set it up too well, or it's just like I'm picking up nonfiction books about topics that I already know a lot about. Like, I'll start one and I'll be like, I already know what they're going to talk about. I already know the points that they're going to make. I could write this book and it'd probably be exactly the same thing that they're going to say. You know what I mean? Like, so it just felt like a little too predictable, which not for like anybody. Like, I think that other people could read this if they don't know a lot about Shakespeare, they haven't thought a lot about Shakespeare, that they could go into this book and be like, oh, that's like an interesting way to think about Shakespeare, and, you know, like the different sort of dynamics that are at play within like character tropes or like character descriptions, like the ways that he has his characters interact not only with like other characters but like within the world, within the setting, etc. So I'm like, it could be a good book for some people. I don't think I'm that person. And also, a thing that I've noticed is that, like, I'm really into podcasts. I think that this could be a really interesting podcast. And I feel that way about a lot of nonfiction books, is that they could be more interesting podcast episodes. Not even just like a whole podcast, like one episode. And it would be just as good, if not better, than a whole book on that one topic. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like this could have been, it's like the book version of this could have been an email. This could have been a podcast episode. I was also a little put off by the fact that, like, the acknowledgements were in the beginning of the book, which I have seen a lot with nonfiction books, but I'm reading the audiobook and the acknowledgements are so long. They're listing basically everybody they've ever come into like contact with for more than 2 minutes. And I'm just like, okay, I get it. You want to name everybody, you want to thank everybody, but really, are the acknowledgements the right place to do it? I don't know. I can tell when I'm in a slump when I start to make very like nitpicky comments about books, but like they just start to get under my skin and I'm just like, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong. I don't like this, I don't like this, I don't like this. And I'm sure it's so annoying, but that's just how I get when I'm in a slump. I get extremely picky. I get ultra picky. So I don't know what's gonna happen. I'm gonna try to start another book, but oh my gosh, if I can just stick with a book for longer than 10-15%, that would be a win for me. So yeah, that's the end of today's vlog. I hope you guys enjoyed this vlog, and if you did, go ahead and give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you all tomorrow. Bye.